I have some good news. The church is growing at an astounding rate in Latin America, Africa, the former Soviet Union, and Asia. By the year 2050, more than half of the world's Christians will live in Latin America and Africa. There are already between 80 and 100 million Christians in China. And in just a matter of decades, Russia will be one of the world's largest Christian countries. Our faith is growing at surprising rates, even in traditionally Muslim nations. Now, as wonderful as these numbers may sound, they also point to one of the greatest challenges facing you and me today. Church leaders in these regions of the world have very little opportunity to learn the scriptures and sound theology.
We need well-trained ministers in the Church of God. We have got poor training. We don't know what to teach. We don't have a clear direction. We don't have a sound basis. We don't have good theological ground for teaching our people. And we need it.
There is a terrible need in our country for Christian materials. Of course, we rely on the Holy Spirit and understanding of the Bible, but you also need the information that other people already understood and then can explain it to you.
Ralph Winters, the founding director of the U.S. Center for World Missions, estimates that there are at least 2 million pastors outside of North America who have practically no access to the kind of training they need. Although most pastors throughout the world sincerely seek to serve Christ in His church, their lack of sound understanding of the Bible and Christian theology often leads them into all kinds of serious problems.
But in China, basically, the need is so big, but they don't have this level of education. They don't have ability to discern which is the Bible teaching, which is orthodox, or which is cult.
I even saw, at times, people leaving evangelical churches to go into one of these cults, like Mormonism or Jehovah's Witnesses, basically because they were not well grounded in their own theology.
Christians have tried a number of strategies to solve this problem, good strategies that must be continued, but they barely begin to meet the need. For many years, key leaders from around the world have come to North American and European seminaries, but very few return to minister in their native lands. Missionaries have traveled around the globe to educate pastors, but with all their other responsibilities, they often lack the tools and the time to fulfill their goals. Establishing enough seminaries and Bible schools to meet the need for training pastors worldwide would cost as much as $15 billion each year. We must find a better way to teach pastors where the church is growing so rapidly. In the 16th century, the Protestant reformers furthered the cause of Christ by using the cutting-edge technology of their day. They used the movable type printing press to saturate all of Europe with sound Christian teaching. And in the spirit of that Reformation, we must make use of the cutting-edge technology that is available to us today. Through multimedia, satellite, and internet technologies, we now have the opportunity to train pastors throughout the world. Everywhere I've gone around the world, leaders of the church have some level of access to the power of mass media and global communications. Inspired by the example of the Protestant Reformation and the wonderful opportunities before us today, some friends of mine and I founded Third Millennium Ministries. Third Millennium's mission is to produce a complete multimedia seminary curriculum in English, Spanish, Mandarin Chinese, Russian, and Arabic in the next 15 years. Our curriculum has several unusual features. First, we've aimed at the seminary level to meet the needs of the church for well-trained, reliable leaders. Second, our curriculum is translated, recorded, produced, and distributed by national speakers in their own languages. Third, our lessons are graphic-driven. Every lesson is filled with artwork, maps, creative charts, and graphs. To our knowledge, Third Millennium is the only ministry producing these kinds of educational materials.
We're bringing incredible teaching in formats that everybody can understand it. And we're able to distribute it all over the place. We've got the internet, for goodness sake, that allows us to take it everywhere. And we have things like CDs that are easy to copy in a computer, DVDs, VHS. It enables us to distribute our materials everywhere and to allow the people to whom we distribute it to distribute it further.
We've spent the last 5 years creating the initial installments of our curriculum and testing it in a number of countries. We have produced an award-winning website and a number of professional educational videos. Time and again, pastors from many denominations in Eastern Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America have expressed gratitude, enthusiasm, and frequent requests for more of our materials.
We distributed videos to a Bible college in Zambia, and we received emails back, numerous ones of them, that students had watched an 8-video series, so 8 hours of videotape, 6 and 8 and 10 times, because they were so hungry to learn and so grateful for it.
These early years of work have proven that with God's help, Third Millennium Ministries is able to create an effective seminary curriculum for church leaders throughout the world. This goal is mammoth, but with your prayers and financial support, we can saturate the globe with solid biblical teaching and sound theology for generations to come. Just before Jesus left his disciples and ascended to heaven, he commissioned them to make disciples of all nations, baptizing and teaching them. At Third Millennium Ministries, we are devoted to doing our part in fulfilling this great commission. Would you prayerfully consider how you might join with us in making disciples of Christ throughout the world?